Okay, so I am now on the other side of my existential crisis, and I thought I'd make a video about it because it's good to talk about these things. So basically, it took about 5 days for me to go through the feelings that I was processing that I can't even really put my finger on, just to go through the process that I needed to in order to come out the other side and feel myself again. And it wasn't easy. There was a weekend involved, and I spent the entire weekend just lying in my car because I live in my car. So I just basically spent the entire weekend in bed, even though I wanted to work on my van and do stuff. I just couldn't. I felt paralyzed because I was almost like in a state of shock. Like I just didn't know if what I was doing was going to work out, just with my whole situation and the things that I'm doing. If my plan was viable, if I was going to be able to fix this van up in time to go south, or if I was going to have to stay, and I still don't know. I didn't come to any conclusion. I wasn't even thinking the whole time. It wasn't a thought process. It was just a sitting with. It was just a getting through it, and there wasn't any. I didn't figure anything out per se. I just needed some time to sit and just be. Aside from all the doing that life a lot of the time is, like constantly working on this van, putting money into it and the time and the effort, and it's just like, oh wow, I just, I guess I freaked out a bit. I didn't know if I was going to be able to get it done, and I still don't. The only difference between now and then is that I have not so much decided, but I am just choosing to essentially move forward and have faith, because that's what I got at the end of the day. I felt called to build this van, to invest my time and resources into it, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna trust that it's gonna work out somehow in some way, and it's not something that I'm necessarily consciously aware of. I guess I don't know if I was focusing too much on some of the details regarding my life and what I'm doing, but it certainly got to me, just like everything all happening at the same time, and like looking at my entire life and then just asking all these big questions, and it's like, should I be doing this or should I be doing that? And it got to me, but I took my own advice, and I made sure to keep with my practices that I know keep me, I don't know how to say it. To me, yoga is a rock. It gives me, when I stop practicing yoga, meaning the stretching, the asana, but also meditation as well. When I stop doing those things, I don't know, sometimes it's like I need that. I need a rock in my life. I need something which is steady, which is still, that I can lean on, that provides strength, like an oasis, or like just something that keeps me afloat. And yoga, my yoga practice is that, and so I kept with it, and I would say that it helped. I certainly stayed away from anything any kind of stimulants, any kind of intoxicant stimulants, including food, and the various forms of entertainment, distraction, things that you can go into to take you out of it, to take you away from this thing. And that even includes audiobooks. I started reading Thus Spoke Zarathustra by Friedrich Nietzsche again, just because I've been trying to get through it again. But I'm finding it difficult. I'm in a different place in my life, and I'm finding it a challenge to appreciate as much as I used to. So, but yeah, and I just stopped with that. I just realized that I just really needed to sit and just be, to just exist, and just allow myself to slow down, to calm down. And I did something for myself. I got myself these little earrings, these little black earrings, just because yesterday I was just needing something, a little self-care and I wanted it to complement my nose ring, because I had these silver ones and they were too small, then the other ones were too big, but I think the black and the white looks really good. And even though it's this little superficial thing, it's just small, and like it doesn't really matter. It matters to me because it's my face, and I see it every time that I look at myself in the mirror, and so it helps to do a little something, just a little something just for me. And that was a big thing. And even like this morning, I had to get up. It's Monday, and I went to work, and I was not the most friendly. I didn't mean to be like that. I know I could have tried harder, but as it happened, work was over in a very short period of time. The material was the wrong material, and this and that. So I got to just come here and got to work on the van, and I started feeling a bit more myself today. Not today, but this afternoon. I was like, okay, I don't feel so lost. I don't feel so helpless. I don't feel distraught. I'm okay, and I have my energy about me. I can tell because I feel a little cheeky again. I feel like having fun, making little jokes, and just like the way that I think about things is like in a kind of a cheeky manner. And so I can tell that that portion of light has returned to me. I can feel it just in my demeanor, in my general composition. So it's nice to see that. And I made a big, because I decided to continue with the van, even though it's like, yeah. And I bought a fan for it. You need to, it's a thing that you can get as like a roof vent fan, and I got the one that I wanted, the Max Air 7500. The thing is, because it's expensive, and I was just like, all these things, it's like I am, like a lot of the stuff that I have to do with my car and this thing, it goes on my credit card, and it was just, that's part of, finances and just direction and like, how am I gonna do all this stuff? It can get to you. It certainly got to me, but today I did it, and I just said, you know what, I just have to continue with faith, and just trust that no matter what I do, it's gonna work out one way or another. I'll figure it out. It's gonna work out. And in a way that is beyond my expectations, or like whatever image I might have about how it all works out. And so, it's nice to be on the other side of that. I honestly don't know what it was about. I think it's just something that had to happen. And I don't really have another way to put it, guess it's just, there's so much going on in life sometimes. You get going and it's important to slow down. I received another kind of reflection on this as well, practicing yoga, because I'm training to study, to go from a yoga teacher training with a very respectable school, and I really want to be my best for when I go there and when I do that, so that I can get the most out of it. So I'm preparing myself for it, and because I was going through this stuff, and I know that it's not healthy to practice yoga too much. Too much of a good thing isn't a good thing, and so I stopped. I practiced yoga for like 4 days in a row. And then I know that my body needs time to recover, and I didn't give it that time, and I actually pulled a muscle in my back. It's the first time I've ever had a yoga related injury, and it was doing a fairly advanced move. And because of the amount of yoga that I do, it wasn't a big deal. I only lost the ability to do certain yoga poses. Sorry about the noise. They're putting in an oil pipeline back there. There's nothing we can do about that. And I pulled this muscle, and that really forced me to slow down and just to stop and take time to nurture in a different way, in a non-active way, because even like the yoga and the meditation is still a very active process, where you're engaged in an activity and whatnot. Even though and the way that I practice it, I go kind of hardcore with it, so it's not exactly restorative yoga. So, and then this morning, like I said, yoga is my rock, and so I was like, okay, well, I'm still gonna go to the gym and practice yoga and meditate, because I need that. But I practiced restorative yoga, just very gentle, restorative practices, and that was nice. And it kind of opened up a new idea for me, that even though I really enjoy the advanced yoga, the forearm stands and the handstands and the headstands and like all the funny things, turning yourself into a pretzel and whatnot, I think that I would like to practice restorative yoga as well, like after getting certified to be a yoga teacher, to branch out into that as well, because that's like the two sides to it. Like I used to do a yoga or a martial art which had shiatsu massage integrated. It was called Shirinji Kempo anyways, and it's like a Shaolin Kung Fu, but also meditation and philosophy and shiatsu massage, because it's important to have a balanced kind of practice. And so, a number of things came out of this experience for me, and that was certainly one of them, was this experience of needing to practice a restorative yoga just for my own health and healing. And it worked. It's amazing. You do those little exercises, and it's neat. So I got that out of it. I think I came through this experience better. I didn't it certainly had its challenges, because I like to go, but it was a healthy experience to be at the mercy of something greater than you and your awareness, and to hand yourself over to that. You know, I can't help but think of, that's how I kind of look at life, to not always assume that you're the one that's in control of the way that things pan out, and to hand the reins over to a level of control which actually understands things on a much deeper, a much bigger level. So yeah, I just thought I would share that kind of stuff, because it certainly came up, this subject, over the weekend, talking with different people, and other people brought it up, and I was like, hey, that's interesting, because I myself am having a sort of an existential crisis right now, and there's not a lot of awareness about that kind of stuff with some people. I mean, possibly there is, right? But I'm sure that there is. But anyways, and it's interesting too, like, because like a crisis, I know, because it's not like a mental breakdown. It's not like you're like absolutely losing it, you know. It's not, but it's kind of similar to how like some men have a midlife crisis, where you, or women too possibly, but how the joke is with men, how like you reach this point and then you like buy like a fancy car or something, and essentially to compensate for whatever it is that you're going through. Yeah, so I think that's it. Just wanted to share that yeah, there is getting through it, and that's my perspective on it anyways. So yeah, if you're going through that kind of thing, I tell you what really helped was making these YouTube videos, because it's like the ability to, it's like journaling, but sharing as well. So it's like you're not going through it all alone. And there's something nice about that, because it can be challenging sharing with other people, because you get feedback that you might not be looking for, but it's, you know, that comes with communications and whatnot, or I don't know. Yeah, I hope this helps if anybody likes to hear that kind of stuff.